Hello friends, and welcome to my little corner of the internet where we chat about fiber, spinning, knitting, fiber prep sometimes. And yeah, my name's Kristen, in case you've never been here. And you can find me on Instagram as Stitched Vintage, same as YouTube. What else? I live in Florida with my family. We have 3 children. Most of them are teenagers, and this is how I spend my time: knitting and spinning, playing with fleece, and gardening when it's not wretchedly hot outside. Okay, we're just gonna hop to it because it's been a few months. It is February 8th or 9th, 10th, one of those days. And I've not recorded a video since November. It's been a while. December was just busy. And then I had tried recording a few times in January, and it was just, the words weren't happening. So those got deleted fairly fast. Okay, we're just going to hop in knitting. So I've got 5 finished objects, just kind of like an overview, I guess. We got 5 finished objects, 1 whip, 5 spins to talk about, and like 5 like plans for the year, kind of, not really. We'll see. So first finished object is my Sunday sweater. So this is the Sunday sweater by Petite Knit. We chatted about it a bit last time. As you recall, I knit the yoke and then frogged the entire thing and restarted because my tensioning in this ribbing is not the best. This is much better than it was. Now, I tend to be sensitive to hairy wool. That doesn't make sense because it's not wool. I tend to be sensitive to things like mohair. I've not found alpaca something to be sensitive to. However, this yarn, I am. So just this area, like right here, it's not itchy, it's pokey, and it's not my favorite. But all that to be said, nope. But I can wear like a high neck like tank top underneath and I'm fine. So I've worn it a few times with that and I'm good. Anyways, I love it. I'm happy with it. I don't think I'd knit it again. Maybe, but I don't think so. I have the like any notes for this on Ravelry. Everything I'm talking about today is on Ravelry, I'm pretty sure. What else was I gonna say? So when I finished the sleeves, they were probably like this. But I figured with it being alpaca and after blocking, they would just kind of loosen and stretch out a bit, which they did. So I'm happy with that. I also did not increase, like these bell sleeves were, I don't know, I don't want to say quite bigger, but they were more increases were called for. And I stopped increasing earlier. I can't remember. I did a couple increase rounds, then I stopped. That's in my notes on Ravelry. I don't remember exactly how many I did. So that's my Sunday sweater. And it's cute. It's a little boxy. There's like no shaping or anything, which with the shaping, like we didn't raise like the back. I don't feel like this is pulling at all. I feel like with this being a like ribbed yoke, I really didn't need the shaping, if that makes sense. Okay, this is coming off because it's itching me. We're back. So, finished object number 2. That is my son's Oslo hat. So this was knit with Double Sunday by Santa's Garn. The pattern is from Petite Knit. And I'm happy with it. I've chatted a bit about wanting to find like the perfect hat to knit, like the one that's just my go-to. Still working on it. I'm not sure if this is that hat. I think it could be if I could figure out a way to like make those decreases not so prominent. I just find, I guess I'm so used to store-bought hats because you don't really notice like the crown shaping on a store-bought hat. But on knit hats, you really do. I think maybe it wouldn't be so harsh if there was a knit stitch between the decreasing. Maybe. I don't know. This was super easy to knit. Like it is just mindless stockinette in the round, just so quick. The brim, like what is that? The brim is like folded. So you knit, you fold it, and then it's actually like this. So you knit, you fold it, and then you continue knitting. Nope, not my face. You continue knitting for however many rows, and then you flip it, and then you keep knitting. That confused me when I first read it. I'm like, what is she telling me to do? I'm so confused. My brain just couldn't wrap around it, that's just me. And that's so when you fold it, you don't see any of like you don't see any of the back of the stockinette. He loves it. It fits him well. I don't remember what size I made him. Again, it's in Ravelry. All that to say, like, if I just need a mindless knit, like, this is it. Because it was just so quick. Because you don't even have to look. Like, you watch TV. Like, it's so simple. So that's the Oslo hat. I think I would love it. I just don't like how prominent the decreases are. Is that just me? Is this just a thing I need to get over? I do like that it's an X and not like a spiral. I just wish, and again, this is probably just me. I just need to work on my decreases and make them not so visible, but like how? I don't know. Okay. Done talking about it. I do like the hat. I like the pattern. It was super easy to follow, other than like me being like, wait, what? Okay. Finish object number 3. The Spiral Rib Leg Warmers by Pearl Soho. They're like so long. My daughter wanted leg warmers for ballet, and she wanted them to go over her knee. So we knit and knit and knit and knit and knit some more. I knit this with Brooklyn Tweed Shelter. I don't remember the colorway. And okay, a few things. One, these were annoying for me to knit. I think I just did so much ribbing, and then like ribbing became kind of second nature. But then with this, because it's a spiral, you're like shifting the knit, purl, purl every few rows. So it wasn't mindless. Like, I feel like 2x2 rib can become mindless, like if you're doing it over and over and over. But with having to like keep track of what row I was on to then shift, it was frustrating. It wasn't as mindless as I wish they were. So that other thing, I chose this yarn, which I mean, it's so beautiful. And I love this yarn, but I chose it because they're leg warmers. They're to keep you warm. They're for warming up, keeping her muscles and joints and everything like warm and ready. So there's no injuries, all that stuff. I was like, this yarn is perfect. In theory, it should be perfect. However, it does not hold the ribbing well. Like it showcases the texture extremely beautifully, but when she wears them, they just kind of blow out, and they're not staying up, and that then like she can't wear them, like she can't keep pulling them up while she's dancing and warming up and doing all that. So I wish I would have picked a different yarn, but I didn't. I did not. So we have tried to add some elastic in one of the tops. Can you see? Can we see? Put some elastic up there to see if that would hold them over the knee. Like even if they, like they should, I think they should work. We'll see. She hasn't tried it with the elastic. I'm hoping that elastic will help keep them up over the knee and not stretch out and fall down. Like when they're blocked and like re-stretched this way, like they get skinny again and they fit well. But then after dancing for a little bit, they just stretch out and fall down. So simple, like easy, but not mindless, because you have to keep track of, well, like shifting. That's that. Okay. But I do love this yarn. It's so squishy and soft and amazing. Finish object number 4. Okay, which one to talk about first? We will talk about the Hermione socks. So these are knit with hand spun. I spun this during Tour de Fleece last year. So last July, it is Daugus Noor, dyed by Spindelicious, on her Big Cozy sock base. This is my first time spinning that base from her and knitting with it. I wanted to try it out. When she was looking for a sock base, like her and I had chatted a bit, just what people want for sock yarns, and without nylon, making it strong, but elastic, all that. So this is what she chose, and I immediately had to try it out. Well, I immediately had to buy it, and then like a year later, try it out. I love this yarn, this colorway. It's so pretty. And I love that like they don't match. Like they're twins, but they're like fraternal twins. They're not like it's like that. Anyways, okay. A few things. Again, this is on my Ravelry, which I will link below. I made some modifications to the Hermione sock because it's a free pattern. You only get one size, and I knew that that size would be too big for my foot. So my foot is, I think I have it. Maybe I don't. I don't know. I want to say my foot circumference is 8 inches. Maybe not. I don't know. Is it in the back here? I didn't write it down. I wrote it down somewhere. Anyways, I'm a size 6.5. I think I put my foot circumference in Ravelry. I think that's where that's at. Anyways, I figured that casting on that many stitches was too many for me. So I went down. I think it called for 64. I went down to 56. I should have went down further. They fit nice. They're just a little slouchy. Like they fit nice in the foot, but as soon as we get right here, they're a little baggy. They stay up fine. They're just a little baggy, which is fine because like slouchy socks are like back in. I think. I don't know. And who cares if they are, they aren't. I love them. They're a little, they kind of look like a stocking you would hang, like instead of a sock. Um, but they fit really nice on my feet. And I like the pattern. Yeah, I'm just a little loose right there. I don't know if I'm going to be able to show you. Okay, let's see. So it's like this area right here around my ankle. It's just a little loose. Other than that, they're great. I felt the pattern was easy to follow. It was a little tricky for me. Like I've knit quite a few pairs of socks, but I go like months between knitting them. So then when it comes to like the heel, I have to like remember how to do it. And 2 at a time can be difficult. And it's been a long time since I've done a 2 at a time heel flap. Like just doing one, it's fine. But doing 2 at a time for some reason, like my brain gets confused. Anyways, I wrote it out because I do think that I will knit these again. I like the pattern. I also don't feel like this yarn really showcases that pattern very well. I don't know. What do you think? I feel like the yarn stands out more than the pattern with this yarn. Does that make sense? Which is fine. I don't mind that because it's hand spun. So I want to showcase the yarn. But I do think I would knit these again. So I wrote out how I did the heel flap, especially because I changed, like my stitch count was different. So I needed, like when she's like, do this for so many stitches, I need to know, well, I have a different stitch count. So, which I may change that next time because I'd probably go down from 56 because these were a little loose. Anyways, they're done. Yay. Okay. So those are done. Finished object number 5. My most favorite. Oh, look at these. Okay. Let's get closer. I love these socks so much. Okay, so tessellated socks, Andrea Mowry. I don't remember who the Hermione socks are. Tessellated socks, you guys, they're just so scrumptious. So I wasn't going to knit these. I chatted about it last time. I hadn't cast them on, I don't think. So she released this pattern for her like sock along that she does over Thanksgiving weekend, where you try to knit a pair of socks. I wasn't going to do it because these had already been cast on and I was already like working on these here and there. I also needed to finish these, still had my sweater and had hats I wanted to make. So I was like, I don't have time. And then I had made a bunch of bats. Can you see them? No, you can't. I shared about them a few episodes ago. I'd taken a bunch of little nestlets that I had from Wolfine, just like the ends of bats, you know, like little chunks. I had a ton of them and I separated them into like color schemes and then put them on my drum carder. And I had shared this one that we spun and it was like, I said it reminded me of a mermaid. And I loved it so much. And looking at this, and then I was like, that would be so pretty. So I went through my yarns and I was like, well, I already have some knitting for olive mohair, which I can use in place of the whatever that was. I think it was a cashmere or alpaca. I don't remember. That's called for in the pattern, but I used mohair. Knitting for olive mohair is the white, and then the main brown is Beach Bunny Yarns, which is a local to Florida dyer. and I already had it, and I was like, we'll just do that. Like, I think they'll be pretty. And I was so right. um, okay. The only like modification I made was in the heel and the toe, and I held the mohair with the contrast color. She doesn't call for that. She just says use like that spin cycle yarn, but I opted to use the mohair. Two reasons: because it's a silk mohair, so the silk will add strength, and like those are two spaces where I feel like strength is needed, and also because my toes get cold, and I figured mohair is warm and they'll keep my toes nice and toasty. um However, I did not really think about it, like the gauge change that would happen, especially because this is like a mosaic, so it's like slip stitching. So like the gauge is going to be different from like stockinette. I did go down a needle size. When I finished them, the heel was massive. It did not fit comfortably on my foot. Like they fit, but they almost felt like slipperish. Like this heel was massive. And I was like, I had worn them a few times, and I was just like, no, like this isn't. I was really sad because I loved this so much. Like, I just love it. Anyways, I ripped the heel out. I think I went down another, like even further a needle size, and then I just decreased more rapidly than she called for. So a little nervous that it would be too small, or this part would kind of tighten up and not fit, but they fit beautifully. I'm so glad that I did it. Now I just have to decide, like the toes, like they fit, the socks fit. They're just, the toes are just a little wide compared to the rest of the sock. So, can we see? I don't know if you're even going to be able to see. They're just a little wide in here. So I was thinking I can just rip the toe out and do the same thing. Just kind of decrease a bit faster, so they're not so wide. I mean, they don't feel bad. So I don't know. We'll see. Now that I've shown them, I can kind of wear them again and just see what I think. I think I'm going to rip the toe out and redo it, which is fine. We'll see. It was annoying having to rip out the mohair, especially because I had worn them like 3 or 4 days in a row before I decided to rip out the heel. But it wasn't as bad as everyone makes it out to be. Like, it got like a little knotty in places, but I was able to get it. I was able to salvage that yarn, and we have a little bit left, so it should be fine. I love those socks. I like this look. Like, I just like that mosaic pattern. And I do think a sweater is in my future, like in a few years, because I already have like this year planned out. Not planned out, but I have things that are higher on my list. Okay. Those are all my knitted finished objects. And we're at 30 minutes, which was my plan. 30 minutes this, 30 minutes spinning, and we're good. Okay. Set that over there. Oh, my one whip. We're going to chat about it. Try not to go on a tangent. This is hibernating in Ravelry. I haven't pulled it out, mainly because I haven't been able to decide, am I going to stick it back in? So I cast this on sometime in 2022. It is the Bridge Creek bandana. My I-cord edging was a little tight at first. That's why it's like pulling up. I'm hoping I've loosened up quite a bit, and I'm hoping that part kind of blocks out. I always forget how loose an I-cord edge really needs to be. Okay. This is the front, so it's got the brioche striping, 2-color brioche. That's the back. This is a very easy pattern to like memorize and go through. It's easy to set down and pick up and know where you're at because you're like sliding back and forth. Like you're doing one color, sliding, doing the next color, and then turning, doing that color, sliding, doing the next color, and then turning. So like you know where you're at depending on like what color is on your needles. So it's easy to keep track. However, it feels forever. It feels like it takes forever to knit. Because like you're doing a row and sliding and doing it again, and then doing a row, sliding, doing it again. So it's just not going as fast as I prefer things to go. This side is actually my favorite, which is actually technically the wrong side. I love that it looks like it's not, but it looks almost woven. And I love that so much. I will be super happy when it's done. We're almost halfway. So, well, I guess I can show. I picked this up after I finished the socks. So I had planned, like, I'm not casting anything on this year until everything from last year is off my needles. So I had finished by the new year. I had finished like the hat, the leg warmers, the sweater, and then I still had the socks. And I can't remember. I don't think I finished the socks by the new year. I can't remember now. But like that was my thing. Like I'm not casting on any new projects or working on anything until those are done. They got done, and then I pulled this out and was like, okay. And I think I pulled this out like middle of January. Yeah, maybe like January like 20th ish, somewhere around there. I've not knit on it in about a week and a half. But when I pulled it out to work on it, I put my little marker. And this is how much we got done in like a week and a half. And then I got frustrated and set it aside. And I have not had any interest in picking it back up. Like it's right next to me at all times. And I'll look at it and be like, I should pick that up. And I'm like, I don't want to. So I'm in a little bit of a slump with it. I'm mad at it because I'm like, you're the reason I can't cast on anything. So that's where I'm at. That kind of goes, We're going to chat about this a little bit when we talk about plans. So I'm going to set it aside for now. This is my only whip. Only thing I'm working on when it comes to knitting. Okay. Spinning. Yay. Are you here for spinning? All right. Finish skein number 1. You guys, it's done. Do you remember? This was like my nemesis last year. So I had spun a ton of yarn during Tour de Fleece. I can't remember. 50 ounces was my goal, and I hit. I have a whole episode on all that yarn. And then, so August came, Tour de Fleece was over, and I was like on a roll, and I grabbed this. This is Pitter Patter by Nest Fiber on Rambouillet. I put it on the wheel, and then I gave up on life. This did not come off my wheel until like December 31st. That's 5 months it sat on my wheel. I mean, I did other things between, but I didn't hate this spin. It's Rambouillet. It spins beautifully and it makes a beautiful yarn. I think what happened is during Tour de Fleece and spinning all that yarn, and just kind of thinking about projects that I want to make, things I want to make with my hand spun, I just learned that these are not my colors. I would never go into a yarn store and pick these for anything. They're some people's colors. It's not mine. And I think I had that realization while spinning it, and I'm just like, I'm spending all this time spinning this yarn that I'm not even going to use, which we'll see. it'll go into my hand spun pile. And I have nieces that are girly girls and love pink, so it may get used. Um, it is beautiful though. I really love it. Okay, so this skein was just a traditional 3-ply. I just took the braid, split it into thirds, lengthwise, and spun end to end and plied them together. We got 407 meters, so quite a bit of yardage. And then whatever I had left over, so I did the 3-ply, just plied them together, and then when one of the bobbins ran out, we ended. This is what we got. And then the other 2 bobbins I just chain plied to have a 3-ply, but this is much more like, this will be harsh stripes, which you can see the difference. So a little tidbit about me, a little, what is that, words, a little tangent. So when I first started spinning, I spun art yarn. Like, that was my thing. So I got my carder. I wanted to make these like crazy bats and spin art yarn. And I did that for about a month. Spun so much art yarn. Like the big fluffy coily core spun type yarn. And then Tashi who also wanted to spin art yarn, was playing with, or she was spinning like real yarn. And like, we were chatting about it, and like, I didn't have an interest at first, but the more her and I were talking, I was like, oh, okay, like I could do that and like knit socks or something. So I tried. It's very different. Spinning art yarn and spinning yarn to knit with are very, very different things. So and I was hooked from that. Like, it's been years since I've spun art yarn, because this is my happy place. So thank you, Tashi, for bringing me my happiness and telling me to spin to knit with. Anyways, when I learned to ply, it was chain plying. I don't know why, because it's like the harder way to ply, but I was just like, that's how I thought you plied. So these were all my yarns. Like, the first like 20 braids I spun were chain plied. So the first time I did a traditional, I was like, what did I do? This is the ugliest yarn ever. Because the chain ply, oh, come on, focus. The chain ply, like, you see the colors, everything looks nice. And then this is just nothing but barber pulling. You can barely see colors. Everything's mixed. I was not happy with my decision. But then I knit with it. And I've knit with both. And this is my happy place. So while it's skeined up, it doesn't look maybe as nice as that. But knit up, it's my favorite. Anyways, that was a tangent. That will probably be edited out. Okay. So thank goodness it's done. That was my goal for 5 months, was to get this off my wheel, and it's finally there. And we got a lot of yarn. I don't know for what, but we got a lot of yarn. Okay. What are we talking about next? Oh, I've chatted about this too. So let's just talk about it. No, it won't be the last time I talk about it. Okay, we've got 2 skeins done for my pressed flowers cardigan. This is my main color. So we shared. This is my swatch. The contrast color is already spun. It's Ivy and Wine by Spindalicious, obviously. I spun this during Tour de Fleece 2, I believe. I have another braid in case this isn't enough. It's not spun though. This should be enough. I have another skein of this. So I think I'll have enough, but just in case, I have an extra braid stashed away because, well, just because. So this is a 50-50 Shetland Corey down, not fleece. So I had some Shetland roving, farm roving. It was like a medium gray, and then I had a bunch of Ashford Corriedale that was like a silvery gray. I'm not a fan of the silvery gray. It was like this color, which we've chatted about this color before. It's not my favorite. But I was like, okay, what if I combine those together to get like a light gray, like a light medium gray? And this is what we got. Okay, I love it. So 2 are done. This is 3-ply. I've got 2 bobbins done. The 3rd is on the wheel, and I've got about 20 grams to go. We will ply that up and figure out yardage. I think I'll need to do another 100 grams, 50 to 100 grams spun up, but I'm going to wait to card that up to see my final yardage, because I think it calls for 5 skeins of the main color, and the skeins are 50 grams. So I did 5 50-gram bats, but usually hand spun, you need a little bit more because it's a little bit more dense than yarn that comes like commercially prepped yarn, commercially or mill spun yarn. Words. So I'm excited for this. We may chat about that later too, because that has to do with plants. Next up. Oh, I don't think we chatted about this last time. Forgive me if I'm repeating myself. Oh, I need my throat. Forgive me if I'm repeating myself, but I got a fleece. Actually, I got 2 fleece. So I got a merino lamb fleece. So we chatted a little bit. I had gotten the merino sampler from Melissa at Melly Knits back in October, November. And I fell in love with hand processed merino. It is a completely different thing than commercially, like commercial merino top. It's lovely. I loved it. And I was like, okay, I need a fleece. Found a lamb's fleece. It was a 9-pound lamb's fleece for extremely cheap because there's a lot of VM and all that stuff. But it's fine. So I washed it all up. Well, I washed up a sample and set those down. This is it. I don't know. The light's like wanting to like not cooperate. Oh, it's so pretty. I love it. There's nothing else to say. I love it. This is a 3-ply. I had the yardage somewhere. Didn't say it anymore. Is this it? Yeah. 56 grams, 161 meters. I measure everything in meters because my yardage counter, this is my yardage counter. So it like sits, the yarn goes through, and then as I skein it up off the bobbin, it tells me. And this is meters, so that's why everything's in meters. There's nothing else to say. I love it. I carded up beautifully. It spun beautifully. I used the lock pop to open all the locks. And it is just a beautiful yarn. I'm happy with it. And I have so much, and I'm really excited to play with it. Okay. I also took a little bit and like sampled. So, you know, I love my samples. Like these were all my samples last year. Oh. my color samples, like playing blending colors. We chatted all about this last year if you're interested. And then these are all my alpaca. So taking alpaca and mixing it with other fleeces. They're 2 gram, little 2 gram skeins. Anyways, that's my happy place, like 2 to 3 gram sampling and like playing, mixing different fibers, different fleece. Oh, that's what I would do forever and ever. Okay, so I did these 2. So this one, no, let's do this one. This is 50-50 merino lamb and self down. The lighting's not going to let me show you. Maybe. Okay, so I sampled with the South Down. I like this yarn a lot. It is, the South Down really shines through. There's no shininess to South Down. I love the down breeds. And it would be a tie between like the fine breeds and the down breeds. Like I love them both so much. So that's why I combine them together, because they're 2, like this merino is just scrumptious, but South Down is scrumptious too. So I just wanted to see what kind of yarn they made. Come on, focus. And this is it. It's just like fluffy, almost chalky, like not feeling, but like the look of it. Like it's got like this like chalkiness. I don't know. I really like it. I want to do a bigger sample just to see. And then I took the merino lamb and my alpaca fleece and oh, come on. This is what we got. You see that little halo? I really like this too. I will say, if you're a spinner, if you're a spinner and like working with fleece and you've not yet purchased an alpaca fleece, I say this is your year to do it. 1, they're like massive, so there's so much fiber. 2, they're pretty easy to clean. Like there's no like grease or anything. I do still scour. Like I use Unicorn's Power Scour, not as much as on a fleece, but I did, just for like any sort of like oils that are in there. Like they're not greasy, they're not oily, but like even our scalps, like anything that has skin and hair is going to have like oily secretions. Anyways, this is a tangent. They're super easy to clean, but I say that because adding alpaca in when you're processing your fleece is just, it makes the yarn so amazing. Like all of these, like all these yarns, like they're so good. And these are all like fleece, like wool fleeces plus alpaca. So that's my tip. Buy an alpaca fleece this year. Moving on. So that is the merino lamb. If you've yet to spin merino, like hand processed merino, get your hands on some, because it is a whole different ball game. What else are we going to talk about? Oh, the other fleece that I bought. I bought another fleece again because it was super cheap. The thing is, if you're buying super cheap fleece, like there's a reason. So like you have to be okay with it. Whether it be like a ton of VM, super tippy, you know, weak fiber and spots, like you just have to be okay with it. And this was kind of all those. So I got a Cormo fleece. I've been wanting a Cormo fleece. I've only spun Cormo from, what is it, 9 Mile Ranch, I think, Cormo. It's right there. Anyway, so that's where Spindalicious gets her caramel that she dyes. I spun that, loved it, ordered a ton from, I don't think it's from the ranch. It's been a while. Anyways, I love it. Cormo is like my favorite to spin. But I was like, I really want to try a hand processed Cormo, please. And one popped up and it looked beautiful. Lots of VM. Like, it had its issues, but price was right. Like, could not say no. So I got it. And you guys, Cormo is my favorite. I'll change my mind probably. Like, if when I get down my Shetland fleeces, those will be my favorite. But right now, Cormo is where it's at. Okay, so I have 3 skeins. Because I wanted to play with different preps. How to start? Okay. Okay. We're going to start with this. So, I don't know if you can see because of the lighting, but it's a little nippy. It's not super even and smooth. So this this I finger picked. So a little chat about fiber prep. This is some of the caramel fleece. Okay. Like, so much VM. This is clean. All right, let's find. It's not gonna showcase that crimp. Maybe if I kind of block out the sun a little bit. And my face, I can't do it. Okay. So I'm gonna take this. We're gonna set one there. Okay. Let's move these yarns so we don't get a bunch of dirt in them. Okay, so a little fiber prep. So like opening it up to go through the carder. Like I can't just put it through like this. We need to open it up a bit. So that's, hand taking out some VM and just like fluffing it like you would a cotton ball. And get everything nice and open. Like this. Okay, looking for, little nubby bits, pulling them out, and then feeding it through the drum carder. So that's one way. And that is what I did with this one. Here's what we did. And then I was like, well, I had already tried my lock pop, which I've used for most of my fleece processing to open up the locks, just the lock pop. It's pretty quick. That's what I do. However, it was shredding this fleece. I'm not like an expert. And also Cormo's like a fine fiber. So that could be why. I don't know. But it was just like shredding it, like eating it all up. So then I grabbed my hand cards. And I was like, let's use this like a lock pop. Because a lock pop is basically like the hand cards. The teeth are a bit longer. I feel like they're, like the tines are thicker. I don't know what the TPI is on a lock pop. Anyways, these are 72 TPI. So to open, like I've seen where they like and like kind of use this. I don't. This is stationary. And I take it and I will twist one side, so that I'm twisting the tips so they don't go anywhere. I'm setting them in the teeth and just kind of tapping them a bit. And then as the butts as this side kind of opens, then I'm kind of pulling through. You can see like there's fiber getting stuck in there. Now, this may not be right. I don't know. This is how I'm doing it, because all of this stuff that's like breaking off into here, it's staying in here, it's going to break off on there. And that's what's going to create like neps and bumps and everything. So I'd rather it here, save it for like the garden, for like mulching. So all I have is nice strong fiber here, and then I will take that side, I will twist it, so then we can do the tips. I don't think this was a lamb's fleece. It is a bit tippy, and like parts of it does remind me of a lamb's fleece. Okay, so I'm just like setting and just going back and forth, just opening those tips, and then as they kind of open, I'm sliding it through until they are all open. Sometimes I have to like reorient and like retwist because I can feel it pulling out. So this is not only getting like any like broken tips, weak fiber out, it's also any dirt, any VM that is left over, it's all falling out too. Okay, so now we are left with, yay, this. So when I say use the hand cards to flick open, this is what I mean. Maybe you already knew that, I don't know. And then this is a no-go. This, I have a bag of like waste. And this goes in there, whether it's to make like a neppy, like super rustic yarn, or just to go into the garden as mulch to keep like the slugs away. Okay, so this, that was finger picked. We did 3 passes to get like a somewhat smooth bat. I took 3 passes. With the flicked open with the hand cards, I tried, we did 1 pass and I spun it, and then we did 2 passes. Well, I did 1 pass through, so just this on through, pulled it off, split it in half, because I think it was like 40 grams, split it in half, spun that, got this yarn. And I was like, well, what if we put it through again? Is it good because it's so fine? Is it going to nip it up? Is it going to smooth it out even more? What's going to happen? So that is this one. This is 2 passes, and this is the winner. It was a dream to spin, like no neps whatsoever. So smooth, so nice, so perfect. My daughter's putting away dishes, you can probably hear. Anyways, that was my experiment in how much does like the preparation of the fiber going into the drum carder matter. And the answer is, I mean, it's not a ton. I'm going to put that one in the middle so we can see. It's not a ton, but it's enough. And I'm going to show you an example. This was a hand-processed fleece that I spun last year. And you can kind of see, like, it's rustic. But you can kind of see the lumps and bumps in the yarn. The reason why is because this yarn, I just like opened and put it through, so it was snappy. And there's like lumps and bumps. It makes a beautiful sweater. I love this sweater. It's cozy. It's like a sweatshirt. I love it. And I don't care that it's got this rustic type look. but that's not what I wanted for this. So that is my Cormo experiment. That was super long-winded. I wonder if we're gonna be able to cut it down. All right. I also did a sample of, so I have 2 alpaca fleeces. I have like a creamy white, and then I have like the alpaca brown, that like reddish brown almost. Like it's brown, but it's like alpaca brown. Does that make sense? So I took the white Cormo and the brown alpaca, 50-50. And this is what we got. How pretty is that yarn? It's like heathery beautifulness. I really like this. I think it's really pretty and soft. What I like about the alpaca and the Cormo, now the garbage people are outside. What I really like about the alpaca and Cormo is it's still like got like that like alpaca halo, but it's extremely like bouncy and elastic still with that Cormo in there. And it's like round and beautiful, and I just love it. So that's it for the Cormo fleece. Last and final, what's down there? Last and final skein is this. Okay, this is going to be another long-winded story. This is a 50-50 carded, blended, border Leicester and merino, because I have all this border Leicester and I didn't know what to do with it. So this is it. It's like this like brownish gray, but like heathered, because it's like all the colors. There's white in here. Anyways, I have this. Way back when I first started, I didn't know fleece. Like I didn't know sheep, didn't know anything. So I was looking for BFL roving. And I found this border Leicester. I thought they were the same thing. They are not the same thing. So I thought they were the same thing. They're not at all. And while BFL, blue-faced Leicester, is next to skin, border Leicester is a bit more, think outerwear. This would be nice to like spin and weave and like make a jacket. So it's been sitting, because that was kind of my thought. Like my dream goal in the next 30 years is to weave, spin, weave fabric, cut it out, and make like a jacket. That would be amazing. So this has been sitting, like that day will come. I have no interest right now to start weaving. I have an interest in weaving, but I've got too much happening right now. Too many knitting projects, spinning projects, gardening, 3 kids, teenagers, busy, life, all the things. Weaving, I refuse to buy a loom because I can't add another thing to my plate. So I was thinking, what can I do with this? In case you didn't know, I did a huge de-stash at the end of December. I went through all my fiber, all my yarn, and said, if I don't plan on spinning this soon, it's going. Like if it's not bringing me joy anymore, it's going. I got rid of a ton of stuff. If you purchased it, I hope you're loving it. I hope it's found its way to a happy space. Anyways, in doing that huge de-stash, I was like, I have to get through not just like the indie dyed braids, but like the farm roving, especially if like my goal is to like work primarily from fleece. Like I have to get through this like farm roving and some of the like plain top that I've accumulated. Enter thoughts. I had been playing around with the idea of knitting the heirloom quilt cardigan. Everyone's seen it, everyone's talked about it, and I love the idea of this being like an actual heirloom piece, something that I can knit and wear and pass down, whether to my daughter, granddaughter, like stay in the family, like a cozy piece of grandma, great grandma, whoever. I love stuff like that. My daughter is very like sentimental with things like that. Maybe future generations won't be, I don't know, but either way, I thought that would be nice. And I was looking at yarn, and then I was like, I mean, if it's going to be like a true like heirloom piece, why not spin it too? Do you have to spin it for it to be an heirloom piece? No. But I spin and I enjoy spinning. So I was like, that's what I want to do. I want to spin, knit this. So then I was like, okay, I'm not buying any fiber for it. Like I have to use what I have. And I really like the deep, earthy, like rustic type colors for that cardigan. And I have a lot of white. So I'm thinking and thinking, like, well, I've got this. And while no, it's not the softest thing, one, it'll probably soften over time. Two, it's a hard wearing fiber. Like border Leicester would be good for something that's like long wearing, long lasting. So like, okay, but also like I need it a bit softer. Like it's a cardigan, it's big, like there will be like clothes underneath, so it doesn't have to be super soft, but softer than this. So then I was like, well, I could do like a 50-50. I have a bunch of merino, a ton. I've like four, some of them are like 4 ounces, some are 8, but I have a bunch of different colors of merino top. This isn't, there's more over there. So I was like, what if we blended them up on the drum carder and spun and see what we get? So this and this 50-50 made that yarn. Oh, and I love it. I love this so much. So we're going to use these other colors, see what we get, do a little sample, and that's my plan. $25 grams border Leicester, 25 grams merino, so 50 grams. We got 150 yards, 148, not yards, meters. I'm sorry. Okay, love it. Now we're done talking about spinning. So that's what those are all the things that I have been on my wheel and taken off my wheel December, January. Plans, since I haven't done like a 2024 video yet. Don't really have any. I started the year with a goal to wash all the fleece. So all those bins up there are fleeces. Why can't I do this? So all those up there are fleeces. I had like almost 20 pounds of raw fleece that had not been scoured. So started the year like, okay, we're going to power through this. We're just going to get it done. And I'm happy to report I have checked that off my list. All the fleece in this that I have are clean, including my alpaca. Yay. Also, alpaca takes forever to dry. Just no, much longer than wool in my experience. So that was goal number 1, checked off. Now I'm able to like, when I want to like combine different fleeces or fibers, I can. It's all clean. I can pull from it and it's fine. I also like, I don't have my fleece stash isn't huge. I've got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I think 13. That's not a lot. Maybe it is. I don't know. Anyways, it's all done. Check. Goal number 2 was to get everything off my needles from last year. Almost check. This doesn't count because it's not from last year. It's from 2022. This. And not casting anything on until that's done. Kind of check. My main goal for this year, no, not goal. I don't like goals. I like goals, but my intention for this year is not to have any more than 2 to 3 whips going at a time. Now, that's not to say that like if something's not like this sat in hibernation all of last year. Like I can put things into hibernation and like that doesn't count towards whips. But like it has to be something like this where it's like I'm not working on that. I'm not going to, and I need to be working on something or else I'm just wasting all this time. Does that make sense? But not more than 2 to 3 because I've found for me last year, like there was times where I would just like cast on randomly and like do different things. And not like intentionally cast on, but just do it because everyone else is doing it and whatever. And the amount of anxiety I had over that was ridiculous. And not that there's any pressure to finish, but like for me in my brain, like I like checklists. Like I like, okay, we're doing this and this and this and this and this. And if I'm not able to do that, panic attacks start happening no matter what I tell myself. So for me and my mental health, I know I don't care what anyone else is doing. I'm doing what I'm doing because I can't handle that amount of stress that no one's putting on. It's not even that I'm putting stress on myself. It's just my brain like automatically just does it for me. No matter how much I say it doesn't matter. The panic attacks come. And this is supposed to be fun. This is not panic attack inducing. It can't be, or else I can't do this craft. So maximum 3. 2 is really my max. Having 2, something easy, something a bit not easy. But 3 max is my happy spot. Main like year-long goals: spinning the pressed flowers, that should be finished soon, and knitting on that, so that will be a project. But like over the year is the heirloom quilt cardigan, making the bats, blending the fiber and spinning them, also the main color, swatching it out, and just by the end of the year I would really like to have a solid, how to put that? By the end of the year, I would like to go into 2025 ready to cast on the heirloom quilt cardigan. If I get done and cast it on this year, awesome, that's great. But some of these colorways may not work. Some of these spins may not work. So I would like to open up the year to being able to play and try different things and swatch different things, but to end the year with, here is all my yarn for the heirloom quilt cardigan to then cast on in the new year. That's like my main. Pressed flowers will be cast on and done this year, Lord willing. And that's it. That's, I have some things on my radar. Like I have the Celeste sweater I really want to knit this year. I've been waiting on yarn for almost 2 months for that. As soon as it gets here, but I don't know when that's gonna be. I also want to make a vest, like a sweater vest is like a goal, a cropped sweater vest, just very simple, nothing like fancy. That's on my like to-do list this year. And just really working from stash. is my goal. Like no new things coming in. And yeah, so that's episode 7. Yay. I'm gonna go get more coffee and do school with my kids because I'm pretty sure they did not do their school while I was recording. All right, I will chat with you guys next time. Hopefully next month, we'll see. This is about the time last year where I kind of hyper-fixated on my garden and like did not spin, did not knit, did not do anything, no like recordings or nothing, because I was just in the garden like hardcore. I'm trying to not hyper-fixate this year and like meld it all together, like spin a bit in the morning and then go out into the garden and then have lunch and maybe knit while chatting with the kids and doing school and then errands and running around and practices and then before bed. I don't know. That's tangent, but hopefully I don't not see you until summertime. Summertime is Florida's winter. Like that's when we hibernate because it's too hot outside. We'll see. Hopefully I'll see you next month and have a bit more to update you on. Hopefully a finished object. Maybe it'll be back in hibernation and I'll have new whips to show. We'll see. Anyways, all right, thanks for joining me. I appreciate you and I'm grateful that you spent your time with me and I wasn't too boring. Okay, I'll probably edit that out. I said that a lot.